This is Nighttime on WEBE 108. My next guest is one of the greatest performers of all time. It's a true honor to have him on this evening. He celebrates 50 years in show business this year. You know him from his many hits and his years with the Drifters. It's my pleasure to have a conversation with Mr. Benny King. Mr. King, thank you for coming on so very much.
Oh, you're welcome, Robby. Thanks for inviting me.
Is it acceptable to call you Ben, or should I call you Mr. King? I'd like to offer you the most respect.
Oh, don't do the Mr. thing.
No? Ben is okay? Wow, 50 years in show business. That must be amazing to look back and reflect on all your experiences.
Well, I think the thing that's sorry about that.
No,
the thing that's more frightening is the fact that I didn't think I'd last 2 minutes in this, and it was all accidental, and it just shows somebody's watching over me up here.
If we may, I'd like to go through and ask you about a couple of pivotal moments in your long career. So let's go back to the beginning. It's 1958, and the Drifters are already one of the biggest groups in the world. Clyde McPhatter was their lead singer, and then you come in as the new lead singer. That must have been amazing weight on your shoulders as a young guy to take over such a big group. What was that like when you got that call?
Well, that's a good thing about being young. You have no fear. If you say, "Would I do it now?" I say, "Heck no."
Right.
But you step into things. Whether you're afraid or not, you just step into it. And I think that's what happened with me. It's not that I wasn't aware of the fact that I had a whatever kind of little small voice going, but to take over something like that with Clyde and his great group. It was pretty strong, and I had no fear of it because I was just, as I just said, I was just too young to be scared.
Was there a moment early on when you saw your name in the newspaper or you got to go on a TV show and you said, "Oh my goodness, I've really made it. This is going to happen for me"?
Well, I think the thing that really opened my eyes is when I was raised in Harlem, as most of us was, the new set of Drifters.
Sure.
And walking down the streets of Harlem and hearing your music being played on the radios, coming out of people's homes and out of various little stores around, it kind of knocks you in the middle of your chest, and you realize that something's going on with your life.
Can you say there was an experience that you remember that stands out? Maybe it was meeting another celebrity or playing a particular gig that you really remember fondly?
I think the thing that I remember mostly is all the great entertainers that I met. See, my dad had a restaurant that I was working in. It's 119th Street and 8th Avenue in Harlem. Of course, that's only like 6 blocks away from the Apollo Theater.
Right.
So I used to go up there and go up in the balcony. That's the only ticket I could afford, and watch these great singers. And becoming a Drifter guy and meeting those guys and learning from them. And during that time, I think, Robby, was the greatest thing of all was you could talk to them. They didn't have bodyguards all around them. And you can talk to them. You can learn from them. You can stand in the wing and watch them perform and pick up little tips of how they do what they do.
Yeah, and I imagine in those days you could stand out in back of the Apollo Theater and run into people coming off the stage like James Brown, the Ink Spots, etc., right?
All day long.
Is that amazing?
All day, because we used to have like 4 and 5 shows a day.
Wow. And you would perform that many times a day?
Oh, yeah. It start off somewhere like 11 or something in the morning, and wouldn't end up till about 8, 9 at night.
I think people also will compare you, at least as far as your stage presence, to a James Brown or the Motown sound, because you had some unique dance moves. You weren't one of those singers just to come out and sing your songs. Was there a lot of choreography involved, or is that just your natural way about yourself to get on stage and really entertain, not just sing?
I think it just, as I said earlier, just now, just a case of standing in the wings as a young guy, watching what the others do, whether it be Jackie Wilson, whether it be James Brown, Joe Tex. You had such great little guys that moved really well in various groups. Like the Olympics was a great moving group. That's before the Temptations,
Sure.
Watching another great group was the Cadillacs.
Oh, Speedo. Love it.
Great moving group again, So, I had the privilege of seeing these guys before I really became known as anyone, really. So it's my experience in learning all that.
We're speaking here with Benny King. Well, performing that many times a day early on, and then for all these years, is there a song that's still a lot of fun for you to do? Do you have a favorite when you perform?
I think the one outside of Stand By Me, of course, the one that Spanish Harlem would be one of the ones. I think that I love, and of course, if not one of Drifter things, almost all the Drifter things I was involved with. I know most artists, especially it's been around as long as I have, kind of thing. They kind of frown on going back and doing their things from the early days. They tend to think that buries them into a place that they don't want to be.
Right.
And I'm quite the opposite. I don't know whether I'm one of those ones that just can't stop reminiscing, but I just enjoy the songs. I think they were great songs written for us and produced for us, and I enjoy doing them. So to answer your question originally, I think it would be Spanish Harlem because it was so different from all other things.
And I have to tell you, you performed with the Michael Bolton Charities in our area in Stamford, Connecticut, just a couple of weeks ago, and your voice is, if not as good as it always has been, better than ever. Do you think it's a matter of continuous performing that keeps your vocal chops where they need to be, or the vocal exercises you do? How do you stay on top of your game?
Other than the fact that I think you should be my new manager. Thanks for that compliment. I guess it's a bit of what you just said, just constantly singing and now that all the party days are gone and the hanging out times are gone and you stop gambling away all your money, that's gone, and all those ugly bits and pieces of what happens in a career.
No, wait a minute. You're not partying anymore? That's not right.
Well, with my grandkids.
Oh,
yes.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
Only with my grandkids, man. I love them to death. I have 6 of those little things, and we have a ball, and all the other things has been long gone.
Where do you call home now?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, okay, not too far down
Not
the road.
Not far away at all.
Yeah.
I drove up to Michael's place and had a ball up there. He's a wonderful, wonderful person.
Well, he really does personify the blue-eyed soul, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a good guy. And apart from all that, the singing career and all the great things he's done, he's just he's a good person. Let me just put that out there.
He is a very nice man. I want to talk about Stand By Me, of course, and what that's meant to your career for just a moment. But first, if you don't mind, all right, I won't call you Mr. King. Ben,
Thank you.
I have to tell you a quick personal story. I've always loved music. I never learned to read music. Have you ever learned to read music?
No.
So I'm not alone here.
No, by no means. You know what happens in that, and I apologize to all those that read music. I swear to God, I don't mean any harm.
Sure.
But I found that you get so technical when you learn to read. And if you just lean on your God-given gift, you'll survive through it, you know. And you know as well as I know, I'm sure, when you're singing bad notes. I mean, it might not be 100%. It might be curved a little bit wrong here or there. But you just go with it, man. And I think that's the thing that made soul music in its day still be around today.
I would agree with that. I have to tell you, in school, we had to take a music class, and God bless the music programs that are still in the public schools. And I joined the a cappella group, and just by knowing a lot of the songs by ear, I was able to do the bass part, and it was such a thrill to do There Goes My Baby. And my whole role was just to go, boom, boom, da-dum, da-dum. Right. And that's all I did, but that's how I got to be in the classic.
Hello, see that work.